started way back when as a sales agent for Wasp engines. 1951 started out in actually manufacturing the Wasp engine, but entered the turbine era in 1963 with our first PT6 in production, December 1963. But since then, 14 engine families later, 175 different certifications. We have 30 either owned or designated service centers around the world. We have 12 training schools in partnership with Flight Safety International. We have 2 customer first desks, 7 distribution centers, and what we think is one of the most modern product lines in the industry. So this is the markets in which we play. We have first over 800 million hours of operation on Pratt & Whitney Canada products since 1963. But we play in these 5 key business segments. So business aviation is a very important segment for us. Regional aviation, mostly regional turboprops in our case. The APU segment is a newly business for Pratt Canada. I'll get into that a little bit later. General aviation, helicopter market, helicopter aviation, and of course we have an aftermarket network to support all of these OE markets up front. We're either number 1 or number 2 in all the markets that we serve, and where we're number 2, we've got plans to become number 1, so that's something we work very hard on, and I'll talk some about that as we go through the day. And if you look at this business, over the time, the engine market for these businesses has grown at a compound annual growth rate of the last 20 years, about 5% per year. So there's been some up and downs, and there's a little bit of lows now in the helicopter and business aviation world, but overall, these have been growth businesses that continue to grow and grow very well. To support all of this, we do have an aftermarket network that is second to none. You saw some of that outside in the digital side, but we add about 30 million hours of flight time per year to this fleet. We're also very proud that this year we've celebrated our 100,000th gas turbine delivery. 100,000 gas turbines we feel is an unmatched record in the industry. Of those 100,000 produced, 60,000 are still flying, with 15,000 different operators around the world in 200 countries. So very diverse product, and we're very proud of this milestone and very grateful for all the customers and partners and suppliers that allowed us to accomplish 100,000 milestone in the last 55 years or so. As we look forward, we see our products are in all markets. So I'll go into each one of the markets a little bit and talk about what we're doing here. Regional turboprops are a big market for us. As you know, a regional turboprop for a 400 nautical mile mission offers about a 30 to 40% fuel burn advantage over a comparable jet of the same size. So it's got a great economic value. You see the very strong use of regional turboprops in some of the emerging markets that are coming up in Asia, South America, but as well around North America, very strong presence. We've got 2 main product families here. One is the PW100 family, which is over 30 years old now. It was started 30 years ago and it's been developed continuously for the last 30 years. And the most popular airplane that we power right now is the ATR-72, ATR-42, although all the Dash 8, 100, 200, 3Ns, Embraer, Brasilias, many other airplanes have been powered by the PW100, the 127. We continue to invest in that. We recently brought out the 127N for hot and high operation with ATR operators. And again, a very strong market and something that's got about a 3-year backlog right now with ATR. A little bit bigger engine, 5,000 shaft horsepower engine, the PW150, which powers the Q400. The Q400 is again, a regional turboprop that's not the same success the ATR, but has done quite well in the last few years. That same engine is also now going to power the Antonov 132, which had its first flight, I think, in March 2017. But we also recognize that we can't sit still in this market. When you look at the advance of the C-Series, the MRJ, the E2 jets that are coming up, they've made a step change in fuel burn relative to what the previous generation of regional jets did. So we're also looking at what we call the next generation regional turboprop. We're going to look at 15 to 20% improvement in SFC relative to our PW127 family, but also 20% reduction in operating costs relative to that. We've done the compressor demo where we've gone and shown operability, performance, compressor maps, flows, all the rest. It's a very good start. We're working with our customers now on defining full integrated product or power plant systems, IPPS, where we focus on propeller integration, noise reduction, all of those things. Very strong market for us, 175 million hours of flight in this market alone, and a big part of our overall portfolio. Actually, regional turboprops represent about 30% of our overall portfolio, OEM and spares combined. APUs, as some of you may be aware, the APU business was a legacy Hamilton Sundstrand business that came to Pratt & Whitney, and then a couple of years ago the decision was made to integrate the commercial part with Pratt Canada and the military part with Pratt & Whitney military engines. I think you saw yesterday the APU cells that we have in West Palm Beach. This integration has gone very well. The commercial side is actually done and supported out of our Pratt & Whitney Rzeszów facility in Poland, so both the OEM and the aftermarket as well as the certification work is now done out of Poland. We have the EASA certificate there. And we play in all the market segments, from regional to single aisle to the twin aisle aircraft. On the single aisle, the A320 is where we're powering. We're still winning contracts out there, still competing very strongly. When it gets to the twin aisles, the Boeing 787 is our latest application. Over 540 aircraft out there, I think 12 a month being added. Very pleased that we've got to a dispatch reliability of 99.98 on this product versus a 99.95 target. So a lot of great work to make that product, let's call it Pratt-worthy. And you see that across here, there's a number of applications. Our 2600 family, which goes from the AirJ21 to the E2 jets to the MRJ 7090. We've certified the first and the last one on this chart, and we will certify the E2 jet this month with the first production engine delivered this month, and we'll support whatever entry into service that Embraer decides to go with. But very good market. We're also seeing a lot of traction on our Power by the Hour program. This represents about 10% of our overall marketplace, the APUs, and about 100 million hours of that 800 million hours of flight. Helicopters is a place where we, again, but this is about 10% of our market, or 10% of our revenues comes from the helicopter market. We've got a range of families that go from 500 shaft horsepower to 2,000 shaft horsepower. But the PW200 is the most popular engine in the light twin segment. Material will see what size of particles, how that's changing size and shape in time. But the most important thing is we can now see a failure 300 hours before it happens, not 10 hours before it happens with a SOAP analysis. And this is going to be great for helping our customers drive reliability and planned maintenance versus unplanned maintenance. Our ESP programs, Eagle Service Plans, our Power by the Hour programs, we keep modifying those to provide flexibility for age of aircraft, missions, use where you want to fly the aircraft, buy-ins. So it's something that we've developed over the years to provide more and more flexibility, more and more personalized solutions for our customers. I talked about our customer first centers, one in Singapore, one in Montreal, 24/7. We manage events, we manage logistics, we manage parts, we manage everything that we can do from that location. Louis Philippe talked about My PwC Power, our new portal out there. Very proud of what we've done there. And this Libra Stream is basically a way for our customers to communicate in real time, video and audio, beside the engine, link back to manuals, link back to technical experts back in our facility. Been a great invention for us, and actually helped us, our customers troubleshoot their problems very easily. So the aftermarket, overall, the aftermarket has been on the balance half of our revenues for the last 20 years. Very important part of what we do. But what's most important, the engine's new once and used forever. Our ability to support the customers and delight them is really what we think is our competitive advantage, or one of our competitive advantages. So finally, it doesn't stop here. 100,000 engines is just the beginning. We keep investing in technology, new engines, new programs. We've got ideas that will propel us for the next decades out there in terms of products and the markets that we serve. Advanced manufacturing, didn't touch much upon it, but there's been a real push within Pratt & Whitney over the last years to take our manufacturing to a different level. And we've been able to invest in what we call advanced manufacturing cells, closed loop manufacturing, where parts are not manipulated by people, mostly for safety, but also the fact that we can position them on fixtures, adjust our machining, cutting tools to those fixtures, inspect and process all the way through. We're able to produce our first turbine disc for the NGPF with 0 defects, both here, and we took a carbon copy of the plant we had in Montreal and put that in Singapore and there as well. So the work that's gone with advanced manufacturing and linking some of the advances in machine tool controllers has been a big difference for us. I've talked about the 2,000 shaft horsepower. That's an important engine for us to invest in, that PT6 in that range, or that PT6 type engine in that range, both for turboshaft as well as for turboprops. The next generation regional turboprop, we've been a strong player in the regional turboprop market for years. We will continue to be strong, very strong there. And as I said in the beginning, it's about customers. We have 15,000 operators around the world. 90% of Pratt Canada's customers own 2 aircraft or less. So our ability to support them and personalize our solutions to them is very important to them and to us. And we think the digital backbone is the way we're going to do that. So on that, I think I will turn it back to Suzanne. And if there's any questions, I think there's a question period at the end. Thank you.